very quickly look at some of the things about the natural city. So it's goal-based, first of all. You have to have the goal, you have to have the target. You have to say, that's where we're going. We have decided that's what we're going to do. Plain and simple. Otherwise, you're going to have all sorts of shelf work. Plain and simple. Two, and in this case, the goal of natural city is based on the goal of essentially having the three lenses apply to everything. That everything you do goes through there. If it doesn't count. Third thing, you got to have integrated planning. I think the things we're talking about, water is incredibly important. And I believe that. I don't think you can plan on a purely water basis because you're going to make mistakes. We're in a situation of integrated urban design. And I think you absolutely have to take an integrated urban design approach. You have to have long-term visionary planning, I think. Bowker Creek out here is an excellent example. It's a very good example of cooperation between several jurisdictions, the CRD, Oak Bay, Saanich, Victoria, to try to accomplish some restoration of a watershed that has been fairly trashed. If we're really going to get Bowker Creek, you're going to have a lot more long-term visionary planning. Because, you know, many of you may not be familiar with it. Right now it's piped, mainly. You know, it's the good old system of, it's in our way, put it in a pipe, put it down there, you know. Now we don't have to worry about it. Well, I'm a Saanich councillor, and I had an application for a place called Tuscany Village come before me a while back. That in the end I didn't vote for it because there were a number of problems with it. But one of them was the fact that, you know, Bowker Creek runs right underneath it in a big pipe. And that will continue to happen as that watershed, from the human perspective, redevelops. You will miss opportunities if you do them at one-offs. For all of the good planning around Bowker Creek, there was nothing that said, here is our master plan of how we will restore that watershed over the next 20 or 25 years and what we're going to do to daylight that creek. So, you know, one developer comes to us and his approach was, well, this is going to cost me an awful lot of money if I did this, and and you know, so forth, and it's not there. So an opportunity was lost, you know, and that will continue. So I think you need the long-term integrated planning. You guys can read, I'm not going to go through everything. You definitely need to inspire people, and you need the political courage. You know, and you know, just plain guts to provide the leadership. And where it's lacking, you need the people behind to push them, to get them there. The attributes of the natural city, they need to be expanded. Most of them aren't original with me by any means. There are a couple that I think are fairly original with me, although somebody probably brought them up elsewhere. When we're going to build denser communities, we all know that. The issue is, how are you going to, the devil is in the details. You know, how are you going to do that well and properly? It is very easy to do dumb density. Any idiot, you know, describing us, politicians, can do that real easy. You know, all we have to do is approve every application for dense development that comes in front of us, and we've got our product. Probably isn't very good. I see that a lot of that where I'm at. Now, I'll have discussions with some of my fellow councillors, and I'm not trying to say they're horrible people, but they say, why don't you support this development? It's dense. And I feel like saying, are you looking in the mirror? You know, I mean, all apologies, but yeah, it is dense in a different meaning of the word. You know, because it isn't contributing to a complete community, or because you haven't visualized the end product you want to accomplish. If you're telling me that over 15 or 20 years you're going to put 10,000 people there, or 20,000 people, or whatever, well, the very first thing, as Ray said a while ago, is the quality of life you want to create for them. What's the quality of place, the quality of life? not only for those people, but how it contributes to your region and so forth. So, you know, you need to sit down and say to yourself, when we build these more denser communities, how are they going to work? How are they going to be attractive places to live? Or are you creating a situation where you have two classes of people? Those who can afford to live in single family, which will be in shorter and shorter supply, and those who get second class in our new dense communities because they can't get into the single family. You know, you have that potential. You have potential to do a really lot of damage to the social fabric if you do these things badly. So just one very simple concept. The closest you probably see to this is Falls Creek North and Ocotber in Vancouver, 12th and Arbutus in Vancouver. If you haven't been to 12th Arbutus, go and look there. A very good example of how to do pretty high density really, really well. And the concept is you build your community around a hierarchy of public spaces and green spaces and natural spaces and open spaces. So that you set a design goal that everybody who lives in that community is within 15 or 20 seconds of a reasonable place where they can relax, recreate to some degree, not be in a concrete jungle. Some of those might be pretty small, but they're there. They're within 35 seconds to a minute of a larger space where they can throw a frisbee, you know, find some natural attributes to enjoy, you know, from the environment, whatever it might be, etc. And they're within a minute and a half or a minute or two or whatever you want to set the goal of a really larger place where, hey, there could be a soccer game there, you know, or something if you wanted to. Falls Creek North that's a brilliant part of that whole development. You know, it's built around exactly that. There are an amazing number of connected spaces in there.